push, but it seemed that as soon as I said go, it went. So that's why I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's when you hit start streaming, it starts right now. All right. So let me just look on YouTube real quick to see if it is actually happening, which it looks like it is.
Excellent.
I'm not sure, I didn't give any kind of heads up to people, so I'm not sure how many people will be joining or checking it out, but it will archive itself, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, that's good. Okay. Okay. All right. So everything seems to be in order. We're online. Good evening, Terry. Thanks for joining me. You're up
Thank you, Jason,
there.
for having me.
Yeah, you're up there in Alaska. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick overlook of your journey. A lot of us here in California, we've been following it, and it looks really awesome. So where are you at right now? So we'll start there, and then we'll go to the beginning.
I am in Fairbanks, Alaska right now. I just finished the Dalton. So if you're looking at the map there, that little stretch that goes all the way up to the top of Alaska, that's up at Prudhoe Bay. Kind of right around where that bend is right about where Fairbanks is.
Okay, got it.
That first little bend down there.
And so yeah, so let's see. You started down out of San Jose. Do you remember the date or how many days ago that was?
I think I'm on day, what am I on here? I think I am on day, what is today? Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday the 24th.
All right, so I think I'm on day, I left on the 5th. So what is that, day 21?
Wow, day 21.
Day
That's awesome.
21, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to, I think if I click that way, that should be the next photo. So the next photo,
Yeah,
and,
day
and
20, right? Today's the 24th. Yeah.
yeah, today's the
Sorry about that.
24th. And so these are some of the photos, by the way, that Terry has been sharing on his Facebook. And then when he comes back, he's definitely going to be putting a lot more together. But it's just too cool not to kind of capture what you've seen and kind of pick his brain in the middle of his trip here. So was this in Canada then?
This was in Nanaimo on Vancouver Island. There's a great story behind this. I was taking my bike into San Jose BMW for service just before I left on the trip. And Pete called me and said, "Hey, your bike's ready. You can come pick it up." So I'm riding the loaner back in and I'm following four GSs. And I noticed that they have Ontario license plates. Now, I'm originally from Toronto, Ontario. So, of course, I'm like, wow, that's a long way. Sure enough, they pull into the dealership. I pull in behind them and they go into service. So I strike up a conversation with them. They said they just finished doing Route 66 and they were going to head up the coast. I said, "Oh, really? When are you heading up the coast?" And once they got their bike service, they were heading up the coast. So they were a couple days ahead of me. But, had a great conversation with them, gave them some good places to go and things to go see and do along the coast. And they said, "Well, listen, we're going to be camping in Nanaimo. We've got this great campsite," which is where this picture was taken from. That was my campsite right there. That was me looking out the tent. So it was absolutely spectacular. It was great. Made some new friends and just had a wonderful time kind of going up there and seeing them.
Yeah. So let's see. It's from Seattle. You cross into Canada, and that campsite.
Yeah,
Okay, it's right here. I
right
think the
there, kind of at the
campsite
bend
is
there.
right
Yeah, yeah.
here. Yep.
There it is. It's called the Living Forest Campground.
Yeah, I noticed when I started watching your tracks, you were there for maybe a day or two, and I'm thinking, oh, what's going on? He stopped.
I was there for 2 days. Yeah. Well, part of it was the ride up actually, I did not see sun and I did not, and it was raining basically from San Jose all the way up to Seattle. So it's kind of funny. Seattle was the first place that I saw sun, and the temperature actually rose above 60 degrees. That was the first time I saw 60 degrees sun, and of all places, Seattle was where I saw that.
Wow.
So the first part of the coast ride was I didn't make a lot of stops along the way, just because it was raining and it wasn't. I've done a lot of the California PCH, but I'd never done Oregon. So that was fun. You can see I've got a friend in Seattle, so I kind of zipped over, spent some time in Seattle. My friend Jeff, he was great. We're big hockey fans. He's Canadian as well. We worked at Microsoft together, and he got us tickets to Game 3 of the Kraken versus the Stars. It was a great game, 7-3. They won. Just a great way to kind of have a rest day. And then from there, you can see I took a couple ferries over to Port Angeles. Port Angeles to Victoria is about an hour and 40-minute ferry ride. It was great. And that's actually where I met another gentleman that I'm actually currently riding with. I was doing this ride solo.
Okay.
My wife
Now,
was super happy about me doing Prudhoe Bay solo.
yeah, and I should say, because we didn't really say what we're looking at. So this is the Garmin. You're carrying an InReach, right?
Yeah, a Garmin InReach, which drops a breadcrumb every 2 minutes, which is what all these little tracks are. So you can basically see me even when I'm outside of cell phone coverage range, which once you get north of Fairbanks, there is none.
Yeah, and these are the gentlemen that you camped there with, right?
Yeah, the gentleman that's right beside me there, his name is Jason. The older gentleman in the hat, that's Nat. And those were two of the guys. There was actually four of them, but the other two had already headed back towards Ontario. Jason and Nat hung out and waited for me, and we, like I said, we camped at their campsite for 2 days.
Very cool. Heck yeah. All right, so it looks like you're still with them there. Do you remember where you were?
Yeah, this is right at the end. So this is where we branched off. So the road behind us there is Highway 99, which goes from Vancouver all the way up through Whistler. And yeah, if you want to scroll to it on the map there, we can probably show you. You'll see
So
where I go
Vancouver.
north, where that little, see where the red almost meets?
Yeah.
They went south and followed that red line going
Okay.
towards Ontario, and I went north. So that picture was taken right there.
Oh, how
Right
about
there, yeah.
that? That's so cool to be able to see the trip as we are with the Garmin app, or the program, and then we got the
Yeah.
photo right there. Very cool. And here it looks like you made it. Is that your first entry
This
point?
was so Itchy Boots said it best. She's like, there's like little Alaska, like a very lowercase Alaska. This was lowercase Alaska because Hyder is a really, really tiny, it's a very, very bottom slice of Alaska. So that was my first time when I reached Alaska.
Okay.
So if you follow that across to the coast there,
Yeah, right
that
down
little
here,
dip in
right?
there, right down there, that's just, you can see the border there. It's just a tiny little sliver of
Oh
Alaska.
yeah, yeah. Here we go. Hider.
Yeah. And that's about as far as you can go. I tried to get to, there is what's called, there's not even a Customs and Border Patrol there. You
Wow.
literally just drive in there, and it's welcome to Alaska. So there's Canadian Customs. When I came back, we had to go through Canadian Customs. Um, the road that you see that I took there, that's the only road that goes out of town, and it takes you up to the Salmon Glacier, which is a little further north. We had to stop, and I think there's a picture on my Facebook feed there where we couldn't go any further because there was an avalanche that had gone through. It was just too early. That's it right there.
Yeah.
So that's the avalanche sign behind me, and that was as far as we could go. The mountain directly behind me that you can see there, that's where the glacier is. So we were literally less than a mile away. It was really, really close. I did get to turn up and took a shot of it though.
Yeah, that is way cool. And I'm surprised. I mean, at times you were running over snow, right? You were riding on snow.
Not too much. Like the the roads have, for the most part, been very, very clear. We were a little nervous when we were going up Adigan Pass on the Dalton Highway going up to Prudhoe. That's the highest summit pass. It's like 4,800 feet. The good news is they do have Alaska 511 does have a webcam up there. About 2 or 3 days before we were about to cross it, they had snow drifting across the road. We kept checking it day after day, and by the time we got there, it was clean, it was dry. So we didn't really have to deal with too much snow at all, actually.
Nice. So let's see. Next photo. Oh man, look at that. Did you?
That was stunning.
Were you by yourself? So you had a
That was
tripod, right?
no, that's my riding partner Daryl. Actually, in this picture, it was so funny because I said he was riding in front of me. I said, "You need to stop. I have to take a photo of you here." So he turned his bike sideways, and I got that photo. And then he saw it, and he's like, "Oh, I got to get one of you." So he took one on his camera on his phone,
Okay.
And I posted the wrong one. But yeah, that's my friend Daryl that I met on the ferry crossing.
And where at that point are you in Alaska or Canada? At that
We are in Alaska, and that picture, I have to look actually. That one was taken, I think when we were leaving, we were either leaving or going into Skagway.
okay. Now I noticed a gap here. Was that a dead battery or just didn't get turned on?
It didn't turn on. So I have my inReach that as soon as you turn on, it just starts recording. And for
Yeah.
whatever reason, it didn't record here. And I don't know what that is. It's basically just there's a road that you backtrack out of Skagway, you get back on the highway, and it connects you up to the next town, which is for some reason it turned on at that point, but we don't know why it dropped out there.
Huh. Okay. So you didn't have any interface with it to get it back online. It just came back online on its own.
So yeah, actually, if you zoom in on the Skagway point, you'll see where I started to make my way out, and then it stops recording for some reason.
Oh,
And
okay.
that road
Down.
that you kind of see follow there, yeah,
Yeah.
it just didn't record there for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, the tech is very interesting to me, so I'm curious to know um would anything on
It's
the
performed
screen.
flawlessly otherwise.
Yeah, I wonder if anything was on the screen to let you know that.
Possibly, you've probably seen in some of the photos. I carry it clipped to my jacket, the front of my
Yeah.
jacket, so it's got plenty of view of the sky. I know a lot of people actually, will tuck it away in like a tank bag, but it actually drains the battery pretty quickly if it does not have a clear view of the sky.
Oh,
And also, if you lose your bike, right? Like let's say your bike goes over a cliff and you don't, well, you don't have your inReach, so I keep it on my person.
yeah, makes sense. All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, that is a way cool photo.
Yeah, it was just stunning. I mean, and Alaska, I cannot say enough about how beautiful the landscape is here. It's a gorgeous state.
And looks like here this photo is in you guys made it to Yukon.
Yeah. So we made it up. Um, we drove into Watson Lake. So we were gonna. So Daryl's not much of a camper. So I've been moteling it, I guess, and lodging it ever since we've met. My intent is to camp most of the time. But since he's not a camper, we've been kind of finding lodging. So my original plan was there's a campsite north of Dees Lake. I think it's called Beaver Creek. I forget now. But I was going to camp, and he wanted to stay in a hotel. So we just said, well, the next nearest place is kind of Watson Lake. So we went up to Watson Lake. We stayed there, and that was just kind of on the 10 minutes, 20 minutes in once we crossed the border in Yukon.
Yeah. And let's see. There's another photo. Were you standing by that sign? That's the sign right here, right? Same sign, or is that a different location?
Yeah, it's the same sign. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the exact same sign. We walked up the hill.
And
There's a hill you could. I guess we could have ridden our bikes up there, but we
I'm
chose not to.
guessing these are all just visitors stickers, right?
Most of them are motorcycle stickers.
Okay. Yeah, because
Most
that
of them are like motorcycle groups that have been through, and they've made stickers, and it's all over the sign.
at first glance, I thought it was on purpose that it has some maybe flowery design, but then I realized, oh no, these are people slam on their sticker on the sign, which is cool,
Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like, oh, oof. But okay, yeah. So that was the same sign. I wanted to revisit that. So it looks like you guys, or I think you met someone here at this point, right?
this is a good one. So this is on our way to Yukon. Now, this is a place called Dease Lake, Dease Lake. Now, the funny thing is, that's not my bike. It's the exact same year, it's the exact same bike, everything. There's no cell phone service. There's nothing in this town, but there is a gas station. And this is a long stretch. This was about another 240-mile stretch without gas. So we all stopped and filled up gas here. That pickup truck you kind of see behind us,
Yeah.
as we pulled in, the gentleman who's driving, he gets out and he walks up to us and he says, "Hey, is that your buddy back there about 15 minutes or so?" Daryl and I look at each other and go, "No, no, sorry, it's just us." He goes, "Oh, sorry, I guess I just assumed he's got a bike just like yours, and I just thought he was part of your group." No, but if he's got a bike like ours, he's probably doing the same route.
Yeah.
So we went in, we got some Gatorade and stuff like that. Sure enough, this guy pulls up and he's filling up his gas. we start chatting, and sure enough, he's going to Prudhoe Bay. So we said, well, hey, if you want to ride with us, you're welcome to just join us. As we're having this conversation, I asked him a question like, hey, where are you from? He says, San Jose. I said, California? He goes, yes. I'm like, what neighborhood? He goes, I'm just kind of by the university. Who'd you buy your bike from, Corey or Amy? He's like, Corey? Anyways, he lives 10 minutes from me. I mean, the odds of this happening, I should really just go buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
The
10
odds of this
minutes away
happening,
from you.
Dees Lake there's nothing there. There's nothing. There's nothing. And we bump into a guy. Like, even the timing of it is outstanding. It's astounding, right? Like, how did we meet there? Now he's a motorcycle guy. Like, I think he rode from like Portland or something like that all the way up to Dees Lake, which is a 16-hour day, he said. And he was just like, yeah, I'm on a timeline. I got to get up there. And he did some monster ride. So we saw him again. He was taking a different route. He was going to go to Anchorage first, and then he was going to go up to Fairbanks and then up to Prudhoe. We met him in Prudhoe Bay. So the day that we were leaving, he arrived, and he just had a coffee, turned around, and rode back. And he actually beat us back. Like, he left before we did.
He can put the miles
so
down.
He's a bit of a monster on the bike. Daniel Dana was his name. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, let's see. And it looks like you guys, now this is who you're riding with then, right?
Yeah, so that's Daryl. Now, as I mentioned, we were both in line for the ferry that crosses from Port Angeles over to Vancouver Island. And of course, when you see his bike, you're like, okay, this guy's probably doing something similar to me. So we strike up a conversation because they put all the motorcycles that are about to board the ferry in the same section, because they basically load them last. They just fit them in the sides. So we strike up a conversation, and he's a retired VP at Google, and he's been on the road for almost a year. He rode up from Baja, like all the way down in Cabo. He was like, well, this is pretty far south. I wonder how far north I can go. Decided to ride up the coast, and basically was making his way up to Prudhoe.
And he's not carrying any tent gear.
He's not wearing any what?
He's not carrying any tent gear?
No, he's not a camper. Now, he's got a lot of stuff on there, but he's been literally living off the bike for almost a year.
Okay, wow.
Great guy. You want to be selective of like who you travel with. You get along. Do you have the same riding styles? Do you want to do things? Other than the fact that he doesn't camp and I do, which I have no problem staying in a hotel either. He's a great riding partner. Very, very similar styles, very similar sense of humor. Both engineers, so we think alike. And he's been a great riding partner. So yeah, at this point we joined up in, so I went and camped in Nanaimo. He had a friend in Vancouver. But he eventually caught up to us where was I at? We passed him actually on the way when we were on our way up to Whistler, and he had some Anarchy Adventure, the Anarchy Adventure. Yeah. On his bike, and he hated them. And he said, I'm driving back to Vancouver. I'm taking them off, and I'll meet you guys up there. And sure enough, he caught up to us, and then we've been riding ever since. We're going to probably ride together for the next maybe 5 days, and then we're going to split off because he's going to spend some time in Anchorage and spend a couple of days there, and I'm going to continue riding.
Man, how about that?
Yeah.
Beautiful there.
That was a beautiful shot. And again, it feels like when you're riding around Alaska and British Columbia, you just want to pull the bike over all the time, and stop and take a photo. It's hard not to. There's a beautiful off to the right here. There's another photo. I can't remember if I put that one online or not, but it's a beautiful lake of this glacial lake. Oh, this was the best part of the ride. That photo that you just had there.
Okay, I was looking for the other photo you mentioned.
Yeah, I don't think I posted it. So this is called the Tormented Valley, as we found out. This was on the ride into Skagway. It was probably the most picturesque, beautiful ride I've ever done. It is a stretch that comes off the main highway, and then it's a yellow road, I think, on river. And it is just gorgeous. It is stunning. It's that Alaska sign. Actually, if you go back, that Welcome to Alaska sign, that one right there, that's part of the ride.
Okay.
Now that, like I said in the comment there, that is how you announce, and that's an entrance, right? That is a statement.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful. It's like that the whole way down to Skagway. It was stunning.
Yeah. I mean, you made it at that point. That's That
Yeah,
is
that's
nice.
Alaska with a capital A.
Yeah, not the little
Sure.
town you were in.
Nah, I hide nothing against Hyder, but that's a statement.
I
Yeah.
like um I like the cruise ship in the background.
Yeah, it was funny. So that's actually Daryl, and
Uh-huh.
I have a GoPro set up on my handlebars, which kind of shoots behind me, and I also have a GoPro on my helmet. So I'm constantly checking my mirror to see if there's anything nice to turn the camera on. And we were just leaving Skagway. That's funny. Skagway, I think, has a population of at its height like 600 to maybe 800 people. It's a tiny little town. There was 4 cruise ships in port, and each cruise ship they're the monsters, right? One of them holds 3,300 people. That's kind of average. There's 4 of those ships. The town is just filled with tourists. And we were trying to get out of town, and everyone's stopping us saying, "Oh, tell us your story. Could we take a picture?" And it took us probably close to an hour to get out of that little town. And I remember I turned around because at this point I was like, "I think we made it, Daryl. I think we're in the clear." And that's when I saw that picture. And I'm like, "Oh, got to take a picture."
Yeah, I mean,
There's one of the cruise
I'm
ships.
seeing 3 cruise ships right here.
Yeah, and they're monsters. There's another one behind this one that we're quote towing.
Yeah, yeah.
We lined up the bikes to make it look like it's holding the cruise ship down.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, let's see here. Oh, is this the lake photo?
Yeah, that's on the way into Skagway. That's I mean you can see the reflection on the water there. It was just still as could be. It was like a mirror.
Yeah.
And it starts that way, right? And then as you get down, as you start descending down into Skagway, it's all snow, and then you start, or sorry, it's climbing into Skagway. That's where you get all that beautiful snow on the mountain. It was just, I cannot say enough. It was gorgeous.
Now, this photo, when I saw that, I just sat there for a while and just tried to read as much as I could. I didn't. Where is this at?
So this is in Watson Lake in the Yukon. It's called the Signpost Forest, and this is probably a shot of maybe 1/8 of it. It's enormous, and it's just all these road signs, and it's kind of known for that. And people bring signs from all over the world. Like you see, there's a lot of German signs there.
Yeah.
I saw a couple California signs. There's signs from France. There's signs from wow. It's just literally. It used to be just on those trees that you see behind it.
Yeah.
They ran out of room, and they started literally just posting like wood beams in the ground, and people are attaching signs to it. It's the only thing that's really going on in Watson Lake. So that was their major attraction.
That is really cool. Yeah, and what's surprising is people carried them here, right? That's the idea.
Yeah, yeah, and some of those signs are not small.
that, that is pretty funny for sure. All right.
Oh, speaking of, so Travis just joined us. Travis is a native Alaskan.
Oh, no kidding.
Hey Terry, how
Yeah,
you doing,
yeah,
man? Yeah, had to
good
jump
man.
on.
I'm glad you did. Yeah, yeah. Your state is gorgeous. It's just absolutely. I'm having the time of my life.
Oh, awesome. That's great to hear. You still in Fairbanks, or where are you at now?
I'm at Fairbanks for the night and probably heading to Anchorage tomorrow. I was supposed to go to Toyatuck, but the only road that takes you up there has been washed away, and they have no idea when they're going to repair it. So, hey,
Oh
Julie.
man, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so if you
So
are
probably
heading to
going to go
Anchorage,
down.
are you going to make a trip at all to the Kenai Peninsula, like down to Seward, or
Yep,
not going to make it?
absolutely. Gonna no, that is probably going to be the new plan. So today was a rest day here in Fairbanks. Did some laundry, got some chores out of the way. But the guy that I'm running with, we plan on doing that whole Homer, Seward, Valdez, going to do all that good stuff. So
Great,
I'm
great.
open to any suggestions that you have for
Oh,
places and things I should go do there.
okay, all right, great. Yeah, maybe I'll give you a holler
Yeah,
on your cell here tomorrow or something. Yeah, Seward, obviously my hometown, so um,
yeah,
but Seward, yeah, Cooper Landing, that area is really nice. So I'll reach
yeah. It's
out to you.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
great.
should have put you in contact with a buddy of mine, Matt Cully in Fairbanks. There, just bought a Harley last week in Anchorage and brought it back up to Fairbanks. So I should
Oh,
have
nice.
reached out and have him go do a little ride with you. But if you're leaving tomorrow, that probably,
For sure.
probably
Yeah,
won't work. So,
yeah. It'd be a little tough.
but yeah, I'll reach
Awesome.
out to you on Seward and that area for sure.
Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
glad
great.
you're enjoying
Thanks,
our
man.
home state, Terry.
Oh, it is gorgeous. I'm in love with it.
Oh,
But like you
Yeah,
said,
it's
I
been
guess after 24,
fun watching your progress around the state on your ride. So it's been very cool.
thanks. Yeah, I've been having a blast.
Awesome.
enjoy.
Thanks.
So what's going
All
on
right,
with
Jason, you had
with this sticker wall here? You're a dead horse. So at this point, you're pretty close to the top,
that's
right?
that's as far as you can take the bike. Yeah. So that is the general store actually.
Ah,
So Dead Horse is, I think it's like got a population of 25 full-time residents, but it's essentially owned by the oil company, and that's as far as you can go. Like that's it. So that little turret diamond there on the right, that's kind of where that photo was taken. The rest of that land, to go on those roads, you do need a security escort. You have to book it with us. There's one company that does it, but that's as close as you can get. So that's
what are
actually
they
the Dead
protecting?
Horse sign.
What's
Well,
so?
that's so the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline basically goes from Prudhoe Bay all the way down to
Oh,
Valdez, right?
okay.
And yeah, you cannot just kind of walk around there without a security escort.
Because
They're very
of
friendly. They're like, "Oh, you must have taken a wrong turn. Follow me," and they will escort you back out. But yeah,
so it's primarily
so
because of the pipeline situation.
exactly, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
and it's all that's all owned by the oil company.
Wow.
You can't go there unless you're an employee type thing.
And
So they have a general store, which is where this is, and that is literally the end of where you can drive.
I suppose they've lost some horses here before in the past.
Yeah, I think I heard, I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard a story that essentially, and actually, this is true actually. Um, so people think I'm crazy for doing it on a motorcycle. I cannot tell you how many people are doing it on a bicycle. And we met actually a couple from France that flew into Prudhoe Bay. They're a dead horse. As you can see the airport there.
Yeah.
They flew in from France, and they are going to ride all the way down to Patagonia on bicycles. Now, the next stop from Dead Horse is Coldfoot or Wiseman, which is about 250 miles. So they're not doing that in a day. And again, it's not exactly the best roads to ride on. It's very terrain. So you have to camp out there, and there's bears. There's like there's it's cold. So I don't know how they're doing that, but yeah, there's
Wow.
people crazier than me.
Yeah, bicycle. Yeah, my hat is off to them for sure.
Yeah,
Just the rate of speed and what you can carry.
exactly, exactly. Now here's the funny thing too. So I talked about how the road was varying. So there's a lot of frost heaves. The road changes conditions constantly. It goes from gravel, like you see here.
Yeah.
Those are some of those bears that are probably going to eat those cyclists. I hope they make it. Um, but this is literally where they would have to camp. Like they just have to pull off here and camp.
When it gets
So
too
as you
dark.
can see, there's nothing around. Well,
Wow.
it doesn't really get dark. That's the other thing too. Like
Oh, okay. You were saying that.
when I spent the night in Prudhoe, the sun did not go down. It moved from the left side of the sky to the right side and then back. So it did not go down.
Now, seeing these bears, were you nervous at all at first?
So this picture, so you can see like I'm there at the opposite end. This was actually a funny story. So the bears were just kind of hanging out on the road, and we decided that we're not going to tempt fate. So we parked and we said, okay, we'll just let them cross. And then a big 18 wheeler started coming the other direction, and we're like, okay. And he slowed down. He actually took this picture. He even sent me. He's got dash cam footage, which I'm going to put up.
That's where this
on
picture
Facebook.
came from. The trucker.
He took this
Okay.
picture, and it was so funny. So as he's slowly approaching, of course, if you have an 18 wheeler or two guys on a motorcycle and you're a bear, which way are you going to go?
Yeah.
So the bears at this point stopped, and they started coming towards us. Now at this point, I was like, okay, the reason I'm on that far side of the road is like, if I need to turn and run, I can turn and run. So I was ready to go. The
Now-
bears eventually did kind of just go down into the snow and ran away, and we left. But as I was passing the trucker, it's so funny. He's got his arm at the window. He's like got his hand out saying, "Slow down." He's like, I got some amazing photos of you. What's your email address? And so I gave it to him, and he sent me the photos and the dash cam footage a day later.
That's crazy. And I see these kind of interesting poles in the ground. Does that have to do with snow, how high the snow is, or where to plow the road markers?
it's where to plow the roads. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So that if that's completely buried, they have indicators as to how far the road goes
Yeah.
across.
So those are probably 4, maybe 5 feet.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, they're about when I'm sitting on the bike, they're about eye level.
and I saw you shared this. This was at Dead Horse, or did
That's
you?
that's a dead horse.
Yeah. Man, very cool. So now you're back. You came back down, like you said. You're having a bit of an R&R day.
Yeah, yeah. So we did. So it took, I guess it's 4 days, two up and two down. Our first stop, like I said, we stayed in Wiseman, which is about the halfway point. And that's where there's fuel and I guess we'll say food. They have a restaurant you can order from, but like there's nothing you can really buy there.
Wow.
So you can get food, and that's about it. Food and gas.
And are you staying warm? You brought the right amount of clothes and gear?
Yeah, so I have a heated Gerving jacket liner, and it's got like the plug-in gloves. But I'll be honest, like it was 34, it was 30 degrees at its coldest, which sounds really, really cold. I mean, it's freezing. It's not that cold, I guess, but um, to be honest with you, I probably didn't need the heated gear.
Hmm.
And I know they say like if it's hot and it's like, oh, but it's a dry heat, so it's fine. Like if it's 100 degrees and it's humid, it's horrible. But if it's 100 degrees and it's dry, it's fine. I don't know if there's an equivalent for cold. Like it was a dry cold. Travis, you can probably answer this, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, when I was unloading the bike, I was in my short sleeve shirt and taking all my stuff off the bike and bringing it in. So it wasn't bad. It really wasn't. And there was a heat wave that came through weather-wise. The weather's been fantastic. It's been like 70, I think it was 72 degrees here today in Fairbanks. Yesterday it was 75. We got really lucky with the weather.
Now, would you say you brought enough gear, too much gear, too little gear?
Too much. I'm pretty good at packing. Um, I did leave some gear at my friend's house in Seattle.
Ah,
Um, the interesting thing is that because of how remote I was going to be, I do have a lot of more tools than I normally have. Like I have extra inner tubes in case I get a really bad gash. I've got a puncture kit, obviously. I got a tool roll. I got a first aid kit. Yeah, I've got the thermal blanket. Yeah, all my camping gear is sort of on that top bag there.
yeah.
So my sleeping bag, my tent, my pad, my chair. In one side, I've got clothes and food. In the other side, I have tools and electronics.
Okay. And are you dragging all of the gear off the bike when you go to the hotel or motel for the night?
It depends. Like when we were in Wiseman, population 12, and you're in the middle of nowhere, no. I just grab my pants and socks and change of clothes and just bring it into the thing. Um, I I debated on bringing. I have the aluminum panniers which lock.
Yeah.
Um, I was going to bring those, but I thought, if I'm doing the Dalton alone, which was the original plan, I didn't want to take a chance of getting a foot caught under there if I dumped it or anything like
Hmm.
that. So I brought the Moscows, which are great bags. I love them. I usually use them when I'm doing off-road stuff like in Baja, um, and I'm camping because they don't lock. So yeah, if I'm in a town, I generally take them off the side of the bike,
Interesting.
and they come off pretty easy. But yeah, I still got to haul them into a hotel or whatever.
Yeah, that's things that have always crossed my mind. And
Yeah,
as
I think if I were to do it again, I would bring the aluminum panniers.
oh really? Oh, okay. For security
Yeah,
purpose?
yeah, just it's less to have to take off the bike when you. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I mostly camp just because I'm with Daryl. He's not a big camper, so that's the only reason why I'm staying in so many hotels. I haven't camped since Nanaimo,
And how do
but on my
you
way back after we split up, I'll probably be camping most nights.
and how are you liking the tires? Do you wish they were more aggressive, or you're just not seeing that much, terrain that you would need that?
Interesting. It's an interesting story. So, actually, you can probably see. Yeah, you can see the tire in this one here.
Hmm.
I so I have two sets of rims. I have like my big knobby tires that are like for the really aggressive stuff. And then I have the second set of rims, which I normally have the Continental, the TKC 70s on. I had a brand new TKC 70 put on at San Jose BMW, and I thought my front tire was fine. By the time I got to Vancouver and Nanaimo, the front tire was done. Like, I mean, it was done. So I had to get it changed. And there's a place called Spunky's or something like that in Nanaimo. It's a motorcycle shop. And I called them and they said, well, we don't have the tire in that size, but we do have this Dunlop Trail Max Mission. And I was like, it looks fine. I'll take it because I definitely need a tire. And when I first put that tire on, I hated it. I mean, and everyone, it's funny. I talked to Daryl about it. He's like, oh my God, I love that tire. It's a great tire. He's like, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to hate the first 500 miles. After that, it's going to be great. And sure enough, after the first 500 miles, I really liked it. But when I first put it on, it felt heavy and it just felt sluggish and I didn't like it. It does have great grip. It is quiet. I've already changed my rear tire. I guess I'm at 4,500 miles now, I think, on this trip. So 21 days in, I have already gone through a rear tire. And I decided to put the Dunlop Trail Max Mission on the back. And I really like the tires. I don't think I needed anything more aggressive. I had thought about putting maybe something more like the Mitas EO7 or maybe even the Anarchy Wild on the bike for the Dalton. But in all honesty, you don't need it. I mean, there are sections where it's muddy, but these tires did great. They performed really well. I'm actually a big fan. I'm probably going to switch from TKC 70s to these. I really like them a lot.
Yeah. I've experienced the Trail Max missions, and they definitely last much longer than most tires I've seen. And I think they're also really good for when you're carrying a heavy load, like you are. So you're kind of prioritizing heavy load, get the miles out of them. But then these are the tires I had when I went to Death Valley, and with Death Valley and all the sand, I really was wishing I had more tread than what they have to offer.
Yeah, there hasn't really been, the only deep sand I've hit on this trip was when they freshly grade the road, right? There's sections where like they've just graded it. They've just kind of pushed the gravel and the sand across in a construction zone. But they performed fine. They were fine. And, you know, it's not a lot of fun to ride in that stuff, but those tires were more than sufficient.
Yeah, well, that's really good to know. It's a good takeaway as far as, because, you know, that is something you have to think about, replacing your tires or finding something that could take you further.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool.
That picture you just showed, that was Adigan Pass. That's actually on the Dalton. That's the one mountain pass that you go through that you can see the road kind of sloping up to the side there.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of Adigan Pass as we're going up to Prudhoe, and continues up behind that mountain. And that's actually where that avalanche was that I was telling you about. But yeah, this was just, Adigan Pass was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Looks like there is someone at my front door. Oh, it's my kid.
Right.
Oh, she should hold on, I can open the garage door from here. Yeah, my kids are out hanging around with other kids in the neighborhood, as they should be.
Yeah.
There we go, opening door. Well, it looks like we're pretty much at the end of all the photos. You know, it's so great to see.
I'll be posting a bunch more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great to have the photos and to hear the story behind it, because, you know, we were only getting a little bit reading, following along back here at home. And so,
yeah,
as you mentioned earlier, you're currently in Fairbanks.
Yep.
And are you going to be following the same route back?
No, I actually have a different route planned going back. Now, like I said, if you pull up that first photo that has the original plan,
your map. Okay. Yeah.
This is where I was supposed to head over to Tuktoyaktuk, that one in the bottom corner there, bottom left. Yeah. Right there. So that's the vein you see going off to the left. That's where that little kink is. That's where Fairbanks is. So the plan is to go back down, and then that little kink that goes up to the second vein, that's the top of the world highway, which is currently closed, which sucks. And that vein that goes off to the right, that's the Dempster Highway. That's the one that takes you up to Tuktoyaktuk. But that highway is currently closed because of the melt, and roads have literally, the road has washed away because there's only one way to get up there. So the only way that people in Inuvik and Tuktoyaktuk are being serviced is via plane. You cannot drive up there.
Wow.
And the top of the world highway, I was really looking forward to. It's another gorgeous dirt road that takes you right across. There's a border crossing up there. Canada Customs is not opening until it looks like June 1st. So timing wise, that kind of sucks. They were supposed to open up on the 15th, but they're still closed. But the road is closed anyways, going up towards Inuvik. And then I was like, well, I could do that stretch through the Yukon there, and then kind of make my way down towards Calgary and Alberta. And then I was going to come back down and have some friends join me. They're going to drive up to Seattle. Josue, I think and Gwen from Wednesday Night Rides,
Yeah.
and Alan, they were going to drive up there and ride with me back down the coast. So if they can do it, I'll do the coast again, and hopefully in better weather. And if not, I'm going to probably, you can see that little stretch there. I'm going to Glacier National Park there in Montana. Although one of the roads is currently closed because of an avalanche, so I'm keeping an eye on that. Hopefully by the time I get down there, it'll be all cleared up.
Now, I believe that national park backs up the national park in Canada, right? Called
Yeah.
What, Glacier, is it?
There's also Glacier. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also Glacier, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That little, you can see right just where the word Calgary is, you can see there's a little square there. That's an interesting, so that, I guess the square that goes down and to the right, or to the left, I should say, that's the Icefields Parkway route that takes you up down through Fernie and across. That's the way that I plan on going. The other route that you see there that goes on the right side of where the Calgary label is, that's sort of if I need time and I need to get back fast, that's the way I'll go. But I'm hoping to do Icefields Parkway because that's supposed to be stunning. Can't wait to see that.
Nice. So yeah, so Fairbanks today, and I mean you're not halfway yet, I would say, right?
No, I think I calculated the trip to be about 10,200 miles. Like I said, I'm at 45 right now, so I'm not even halfway.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I can't do this stretch up to Tuck, I'm gonna go down to Anchorage and see where Travis is home, and do that coast there in Valdez, because it's just, I mean, I've seen it on the maps, and Butler has most of those roads as being yellow, which is like, chance of a lifetime ride it. So I'm probably going to end up doing that, and then I'll probably have to cut Tuck, unfortunately, because it doesn't sound like I'm going to be able to get up there.
Got it. Well, that is awesome. That is very cool to hear. I think that's all I got for now. I'm gonna just kill the stream. But
right.
Thanks for going over everything. I'll still hang on Zoom.
Yeah.
Once that's gone. But yeah, we'll look forward to an update from you later on.
Yeah. Sounds good. Thanks for doing that, Jason. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Terry, I'll give you a call tomorrow.